This video is brought to you by Lovable, platform that lets you build apps and websites by chatting with AI. Do you ever feel like your brain is rotting away? If you have, this video might be for you. I remember this moment. I was in my bed scrolling through Instagram and I literally felt like my brain was starting to melt. Since then, I implemented so many healthy habits in my life and I am so excited to share those anti-brain rot habits with you today. By the way, I feel a little bit weird because I never do slick back like this unless I'm going to the gym, but it is really hot today, so I decided to do this. I don't know, how do I look? Do I look okay? Also, I was wearing a beautiful dress because I received a phone call from my Japanese mom saying I'm always wearing the same outfit in my videos. And she was like, why don't you wear different outfits? You're literally always wearing the same outfit. So I tried to wear the dress, but it was way too hot. So back to my normal costume. But I changed earrings. I popped some colors here. I hope that makes a little bit of a difference. So let's get into the habits. I realized that one of the reasons why we binge watch shorts or TikTok is because we're trying to escape the pain underneath it. But facing the pain is not easy, so instead we choose to scroll and put bandage on top of the pain. I think a lot of us unconsciously use social media as like a painkiller, and I think journaling is a great tool to feel and address and understand the pain underneath it. Journaling has become one of the important habits in my life. I started journaling because I had a big burnout when I was working as a corporate employee in Tokyo. Slowly but surely, it has become an important part of my life. I always have thoughts or ideas in my head. So for me, letting them out in words really calms me down. It helps me to organize my thoughts, gives me mental clarity, and it really helps me understand who I am. Personally, I usually try to journal in the morning before I start the day, but I have no limit in terms of length or time. I just write whatever I feel like it, and that is probably one of the reasons why it has become a habit. If I skip a day or two, I don't beat myself up for it. I can just pick up a journal and start again. I received this beautiful little journal by Paper Republic. Thank you so much for sending this to me. I just started using this. I haven't really made it into my own yet, if you know what I mean, but I am so excited to use this journal for years to come. I want the leather to look a little rusty and get stains, and I want the journal to go through life with me. And yeah, I'm just really excited to keep journaling on this. They even customize it and they put a name on the journal. It is so beautiful. I love it so much. And I think this makes a great gift as well. Reading is another amazing thing that you can do instead of scrolling. For me, I always had a hard time getting to the world of the book. I often found myself wandering, and sometimes I don't even remember what I just read. Sometimes I take myself on a phone-free date. I bring my book, journal, pen, and my digital camera, and I just walk to the direction that I want to walk to, basically. No destination, just wandering around. And time to time, I take a break, sit on the bench, and just read. When I did it last time, it was a huge success. I don't think I've ever read that many pages in a day. And also, I remember someone at a cafe started talking to me because of the book that I was reading. The whole interaction was so authentic and it made me really happy. And to be honest, I don't think the interaction would have happened if I was on the phone or if I was scrolling. I think people notice when you're being more present and open. The cure for boredom is curiosity. There is no cure for curiosity. Once you hit a certain age, you just get so used to your routines and sometimes you forget to stay curious. I think curiosity is a superpower that as humans have. Curiosity can give you endless growth, questions to solve, and it keeps you young. I'm very lucky because I'm naturally a very curious person. Always try to be open-minded, always try to be open to try new things. And yeah, simply try to follow my curiosity. The other day, I tried something completely new and it really sparked my curiosity, so I want to share that with you guys. As a content creator, the number one question that I get asked the most is, do you ever run out of ideas? And the answer is no. I have unlimited amount of ideas in my head and I love it. I love living in this body. But the problem is it is really hard to turn them into a reality. For example, I think it would be really, really cool if I can make like an app that has all the healthy Japanese habits that I like. You can browse all the habits depending on the mood, and you can use the app to integrate those healthy habits into your daily life. So let's do something fun today and let's try to create this app using Lovable right now. And it's really cool because they decided to sponsor this video. So thank you to Lovable team. If you've never heard of Lovable, it is a platform that lets you build apps and websites by simply chatting with AI. It is amazing because even someone with no technical background like me can easily create websites and apps. So I have never made any apps in my entire life, so this is my first attempt and I have zero technical background, so let's see how this goes. I was honestly surprised how easy it was to use Lovable. First, I used Gemini to come up with a prompt. This is optional, but I just like being efficient, so I decided to do that. I typed the prompt into Lovable and within minutes I was able to create this beautiful aesthetic app. So here you can browse all the healthy Japanese habits and you can also click to save a habit that you like. And it's really cool because it turns into a to-do list. I think this is really cool and actually very useful. You can easily edit the design by clicking the object or simply chatting with Lovable. Again, I am honestly surprised how easy it is to use Lovable. Turn your ideas into reality today using Lovable. Make sure to check it out from the description below. Growing up, I always learned better by listening than reading. And this year, I finally understood the hype of audiobooks. I like listening to audiobook when I'm preparing breakfast in the morning. But the problem is because I have such short attention span, sometimes I listen to the whole chapter and I don't remember anything. And if you're like me, I found an amazing solution to this. So what I do is after reading a chapter or two, I go to Gemini or Claude, or it can be any of the tools that you prefer to use. I ask chatbot to summarize the chapters and I ask questions to make sure that I understand the key points. And if I think about it, that's exactly how I learned in school. In Japan, we have a Japanese class where teachers choose books or stories, we read them, and teachers ask you questions so that you understand the author's intentions or the stories better. So for me, this works really well, and it also adds a bit of a joy to my reading time. You probably won't guess this one, but for me, I realized that listening to an excessive amount of podcasts was making me feel miserable and making me feel like my brain was about to melt. Now, don't get me wrong, I love listening to podcasts, but I had a phase where I was listening to way too many podcasts because those podcasts contain a lot of information. It did make me feel like I'm getting smarter, but in reality, I didn't remember a lot of the information because it's just too much information all at once. And also, it is not possible or realistic to try to implement all these tools that those podcasts mention. I noticed that my brain gets way more satisfied if I choose one podcast that I really like and dig deeper into it. So one thing that I tried is I listened to one podcast and tried to take notes after listening or while listening. I think this really helps me to understand the contents deeper and it helps me not to feel overwhelmed by all the information that is packed in one podcast. I also noticed that the reason why podcast is becoming more and more popular is probably because we're trying to feel our loneliness. I remember I had this phase in my life where I felt so miserable, so lonely, and I remember I would talk to like AI chatbots about all my problems and then fill my days with all the podcasts so that I wouldn't feel so lonely. But really, it was making me feel more miserable because it wasn't addressing any of the issues or core wounds that I needed to face and heal. When do you usually reach for your phone or open up social media? For me, I tend to reach it when I'm bored or when I lose focus on work. One thing that works great for me is to change the scenery. And I like to do it by walking. I like going to the next destination by walking so that I can get some exercise in as well. I guess some people can just work in the same setting, same scenery, but for me, it just doesn't work. I easily get bored, so I really need to change the scenery constantly. Nowadays, we have amazing technologies. But those technologies that are supposed to make our lives better can sometimes completely isolate ourselves from the society. For example, I love music, I love podcasts, so naturally wearing headphones in daily basis became a habit for me. I realized that wearing headphones at all times can sometimes create like an invisible wall between me and my surroundings. Now I purposely go for a walk or go somewhere without taking my headphones with me. I just simply enjoy the sound of my surroundings, the sound of the city, the sound of nature. I think one of the reasons why we escape to social media and all this brain rotting contents is because we are craving real human interactions without any distraction. And it's so ironic because even though we are connected than ever, we feel lonelier than ever because we go on social media to get this false sense of relationship, but in reality, watching your friend's story is not gonna build any real relationship. If you're guilty of this, it's never too late. Summer is here. Leave your phone at home. Go outside, hang out with your friends or family. And if you don't really have any friends, now is a perfect time for you to go to those socializing events or just go sit at a cafe or a kiosk and some people might come say hi to you. I think one of the amazing cures for brain rot is to be in sync with your body. Your body is like an instrument. Might as well play beautiful music with it. When I exercise regularly, I feel more sync with my body and I find myself reaching for a phone way less. And naturally, I tend to make healthy choices throughout the day. I like working out in the morning, so for me, it's like a positive domino effect. One choice that I made in the morning to stay healthy is leading into more healthy choices throughout the day. And to be completely honest, I have been lacking in this department for a while because I was traveling in Morocco. I got sick there, so I haven't been able to work out in a while. I feel like my body is feeling a little bit uncomfortable right now. So I decided that tomorrow is gonna be like a full self-care day. I am really excited and I really need a self-care day right now. Another important point is to be in sync with your mind. I think when you feel like your brain is rotting away, meditation can be a great help. I used to meditate every single day. Now it has kind of become like an emergency care whenever I feel stressed or anxious about something. But I really want to get back into it. I really want to make it a daily routine again. When I started meditation, I had no idea or knowledge about it, so I just listened to Morning Meditation by Lavender. I don't know how many times I listened to her meditation audio. I actually meditated to her audio today as well. I highly recommend you to give it a try. Nature is a natural cure to your phone addiction. When I go to the beach, I bring my book, journal, digital camera, And if I have my phone with me, either I put it on airplane mode or I completely turn it off. I love feeling the sand on my bare foot, jumping into the water and just enjoying the sunset. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm so sorry. It is really hot. I hope what I said in this video makes sense. I feel like I made a lot of mistakes because I just feel like my body is melting. I hope I'm making sense. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe so that I can see you again in the next video. Bye!